Pajama Boy. Hey, Sam, so New Jersey just passed a $15 minimum wage, which is great. I have to admit, I'm not the best economist, but I keep hearing people say, oh, this will put small businesses out of business, or this will bring automation on quicker, or your fast food prices are going to skyrocket. What's the best way to combat this line of thinking? You just Google Seattle, $15 minimum wage, and just the proof is in the pudding. It hasn't. None of the dire consequences that were supposedly going to happen in Seattle happened. Now, there could be other factors that implicate this, the overall economy, broadly speaking, but there's a lot of reason to believe that all of these small businesses are going to do slightly better because their clientele are going to have more money. And when you give $15, when you give a raise to someone who is making minimum wage, I can tell you with almost 100% assuredness what they're going to do with that raise. They're going to spend it. And they're going to spend it locally. Because you're still not making enough to say like, oh, I'm going to put away 25% of my income, 10% of my income, and put it into the stock market. Or I'm going to, buy that second house and I'm going to pour my money into, Western New Jersey or whatever it is.
Amy Klobuchar hot take. More people at minimum wage.
That's this Gordon Gekko clip. You remember this?
What is
This is from a while ago, but they basically asked him about Bernie. I think it was maybe in 2016.
Who's this?
This is the guy that Gordon Gekko was based on, and they asked him about Bernie's policies. Here, I'll play it.
I'm curious, we're asking everybody essentially who you think the best candidate for the economy would be.
Bernie Sanders.
Without a doubt. Why is that?
No question.
Policies?
Well, I think it's quite simple again. If you look at something called velocity of money, you guys know what that is, I presume. Mm-hmm. That means how much gets spent and turns around. When you have the top 1% getting money, they spend 5-10% of what they earn. When you have the lower end of the economy getting money, they spend 100 or 110% of what they earn. As you've had a transfer of wealth to the top and a transfer of income to the top, you have a shrinking consumer base, basically, and you have a shrinking velocity of money. Mm-hmm. Bernie is the only person out there who I think is talking at all about both fiscal stimulation and banking rules that will get the banks to begin to generate lending again as opposed to speculation.
Wow.
Boom.
And then all of them pretended that conversation never, ever happened. That's what happened.
Did you ever meet Michael Douglas?
Honestly, that is like after that moment is over, they all walk to the commissary. They all take out a knife. They cut their hands right like this, and they do a blood oath to never talk about that again. We're going to pretend that never happened. Are you all in? Because we all got to do this. Because if one of us breaks, we're all going down. That's what happens after that.
Hope nobody saw that.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's, there's a lot of different ways of talking about it. That was probably the most succinct and concise version I've heard. We had Nick Hanauer on the program years ago who said, even a rich man eats one loaf of bread at a time. The bottom line is you give money to people on the low end of the income spectrum and they will spend it. It will generate more economic activity than if you give it to a billionaire because they don't even know how to spend their money.
I thought living in excess was the American dream.
They go to space,
guess.
okay?
What?
They're trying to go to Mars.
But the thing is, they're not. They're just talking about it.
We will go to Mars one day, you idiot.
No, they want it to accumulate. Their money makes more money for them. That's what they use it for.
It just makes them feel good.
Shut up, Sam.
Maybe build like a bunker for when the revolution comes.
That's what I'd be doing.
That is actually what they're doing.
They've already done that, but there's only so many bunkers you can build.
It'd be real sad if the Majority Report studio, does the word gawker mean anything to you?
I was going to say,
with your gross little show?
I would say that the odds of this program ending because of that type of thing, as opposed to just like me passing away or or just like retiring.
Oh, that can also be arranged. Maybe there's a little accident while you're checking your stupid Twitter up.
Here we go.